Good morning, student. Today in the history, we are going to start the new chapter, chapter number 6, Kings, Kingdom, and the early republics. Now, in the fifth chapter, we have learned that there are the kings who rule the country, but that is about 3000 years ago. Now, we have the election process and we elect our ruler, right? So like that the chapter started where one boy Shankaran, he asked his grandfather that they are very happy, if they are very happy that they are going to give the vote. So his grandfather say yes, we are going to go to give the vote, and then we are going to select our rajas. Okay, but choosing leaders by voting is now common, but before 3000 years ago it is not a simple thing. Okay, the changes are taking places are very much these times. Before that, the Ashwamedha or the horse sacrifice was one of the such ritual. A horse was let loose to wander freely, and it was guarded by the Raja's men. If the horse wandered into the kingdoms of the Rajas around and they stopped it, they have to fight. If they allowed to pass the horse, that means they are accepting that the Raja was superior than him, and they are going to follow that thing. After that horse come back to their places, the Raja will done that yagya, and they have to organize, they have to ask the other king to come and to join them. Okay, now we are coming to the new next topic, Varnas. We have many works that were composed in North India, especially the areas drained by Ganga and Yamuna. During this period, these are book called as Vedic because they were composed in the Rijurved. Okay, we have read this thing that in the last chapter, chapter number 5, there are three types of Vedas. Okay, now what happened now, there were different groups in the society at that time: priests, warriors, farmers, herders, traders, craftspersons, laborers, fishing men, folk, forest people. There are so many things. Now the priests divided people into four groups called varnas. According to them, each varna had a different set of function. The first varna was of the Brahman were accepted to study, to teach the Vedas, performing sacrifice and receiving gifts. The second place were the ruler, also known as Kshatriya. They were expected to fight the battle and protect the people. The third is Vaishya. They were expected to be farmer, header, traders. Both Kshatriya and Vaishya could perform the sacrifice. And the last were the Shudras, who had to serve the other three groups and could not perform any ritual. Often, women are also grouped by the Shudras. Both women and Shudras were not allowed to study the Vedas. Okay, the priest also said that these groups were divided on the basis of the birth. For example, if a father and a mother were Brahmins, the one would automatically become the Brahman, and so on. Okay, but the Shudras were very bounded with it because they are having the untouchability and they are in the lower category, so they have to go through with so many bad things at that time. Many people did not accept the system that Varna laid down by the Brahmins. Some king thought they were superior than the priest. Others felt that the birth could not be basis or for deciding which one they should be. They must be done by the occupation they are doing. The next topic is Janpad. Now, what is Janpad? Janpad, the Rajas who performed these big sacrifices were recognized as being Raja of Janpad. Rather than Janas, the word Janpad literally means the land where the Jan set his foot and settled down. Some important Janpads are shown in the map given in page number 57. You can also see that. Okay, in the earlier we have that archaeologists to find out so many things which belongs to a very old thing in Hastinapur and Delhi. There are very things they found that in the older people were hunt, and they kept that cattle and they produce wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, like this. Okay, and they are also be used to make earthen pots, and which is colored by red or other things. Okay, now we are coming to Mahajanpat. Now Mahajanpat is about 250 years ago. Some Janpads become more important than others, and they were known as Mahajanpad. Some of these are shown on the map. Most Mahajanpads had a capital city. Many of these were fortified, and this means that a huge wall of wood, bricks, or stone were built around them. Okay, we are coming in the next page where they are showing that Mahajanpads have likely to be king, and they want a protection. For that, they have to make a very big fort, or making very big buildings. Some of the kings done this because they want to protect their people. Some made these buildings just to show their how much rich and how much money they have. Okay, now moving on to the next portion. Next portion is taxes. Now what happened? Now people, the king have their men's na, so to protect the kingdom, to building huge forts, maintaining big armies. So what, how they are going to have this all thing? They have started the tax system. How they are going to, how the king paid their men's? By the taxes. Now what is the main purpose of the tax? The main purpose of tax is to give money to the people and for the security. So the main tax comes from the crop, because at that time many of the people were farmers. Okay, so 1/6 of the whatever product the farmers are growing, they have to give to the king. Okay, there were taxes on craft person also. There was a for the weavers and the smithmen have to work a day, full day for the king every month. Okay, headers were also expected to pay taxes in the form of animal products. There are also tax for goods throughout the trades. Hunters also have to give their gathering to the rajas. Moving on to the next page. In the next page, there will be the changes in agriculture. Now what are the changes in the agriculture? In the early time, they use the wooden plugger. In place of wooden plugger, they have started the iron plugger, because for the heavy clay, soil could be turned out better than the wooden plugshare. Okay, this is the first thing. The second thing is, now people started transplanting paddy. Now first what they do, they just take the seed and they scatter all around the field. Now what they have started doing, they have started planting the plants. They sprouted the, when the seed sprouted, they are going to use it and they are going to plug it. That for that, the more crop started growing. Now next topic is Magad. We all know what is Magad. Magad is King Ashok's land. Okay, so Magad was a very powerful at that period of time, 200 years ago, because they have two beautiful rivers, Ganga and Sun. Okay, now what happened? Ganga, because of the two river, the transportation, the water supply, making land fertile, these all things are very easy for Magad. Part of Magad were forested. Elephants which lived in the forest could be captured and trained for the army. Forests also provide wood for building houses, cart and chariots. Beside there were iron ore mines in the region that could trap to make strong tools and weapons. Magad had two very good rulers, Bimbasara and Ajanta Setu, who used the possible means of conquer the Janpads. Mahajanpads Nanda was another important ruler who he extended his control up the north and west part of the subcontinents. Okay, there are very so many rulers who used to come to Magad for battle. One more than 23 years ago, a ruler named Alexander, who lived in Macedonia in Europe, wanted to become a world conqueror. Of course, he didn't conquer the world, but he did conquer the part of Egypt and West Asia, and came to the Indian subcontinent, reaching up to the bank of the Bees. When he wanted to march further eastward, his soldiers refused. They were scared, as they had heard that the ruler of India had the vast army of foot soldiers and elephants. Okay, So they refused to come. So now Alexander hasn't come to India for conquers. Okay, now the next one is Vajji. Like Magda, Vajji is also very big part at that time. While Magda became the powerful king, Vajji with his capital Vaishali, now it's in Bihar, was under a different form of government known as Gana and Sangna. Now Magda is ruled by the king, whereas Vajji have Gan and Sang. Gan is a small people, a group of small people with one king, and Sangd having the thousand of people and hundreds of the king. They are ruling like this. Okay, now Gana and Sakta, there were not one but many rulers. Sometimes even when thousands of men rule together, they discuss that problem, argue with each other, and they turn out one decision. Okay, however, women and das were and Kamakars could not participate in these assembly. Now, women and das is the servant, and Kumbhakarans are those people who don't have their own land but work as a labor for the king. Okay, both the Buddha and Mahavir belong to the Ganas and Sanghas. Some of the most vivid description of life in the Sanghas can be found in Buddhist book. Now they follow the Buddhism. Okay, Rajas were the powerful kingdom tries to conquer the Sanghas. Nevertheless, these lasted for a very long time till about 1500 years ago, when the last of the Gans and Sanghas were conquered by the Gupta rulers. Okay, so this chapter is all about the kings and how they are performing and how the system has changes. I would love to for you to read this chapter, and thank you so much, dear.